Do you know what day it is? Of course you do. We've been doing this for 6 days already. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. It is Advent of Cyber, day 5, which means this is Vlogmas, day 6. I'll get it straight in my head one day. Hope you guys are having a good one. And by the time you guys see this, hopefully I would have already installed our new microwave. I did a bonehead thing yesterday and broke our old one to the point where it was like, I really don't want to mess with this. Let's just get a new one. It's on its last leg anyways, so might as well. I know. I've been slacking on the wine advent calendar as well. I have been opening them up though, I promise. If you want to actually look at all of the different wines that I have been getting up to day 6, it seems like it is alternating when it starts from with a red wine to a white wine, red wine to a white wine. I don't know. I think I'm still liking the white wines better. All right, before we get started with the next lesson on Advent of Cyber 2022, we've got the question of the day. Question of the day is, are you a Mac or a PC person? This is a little controversial, but I used to be a PC person, but now I'm using basically all Apple products. I own a MacBook. I used to have an iMac, but I don't anymore. iPhone, I've got an iPad, but I will say there are times when I wish I had an Android device. I probably will, though, at some point. Oh, and also, I guess I kind of lied there a little bit. I am a Mac person, but I do have a Windows virtual machine that I use for remote gaming. And if you're interested in hearing about that, leave a comment down below. Let me know, and I can do a video on it. But anyways, alright. Let's get on with Advent of Cyber. And today's topic is actually going to be brute forcing. Now, what is this? What's brute forcing? You might already know, especially if you've watched any videos on hacking or, learning about cybersecurity. Just remember, anything that we do as far as Advent of Cyber goes, please be responsible. I mean, this is all just for, information purposes only, and you shouldn't be hacking or trying to gain access to something that you shouldn't be trying to gain access to in the first place, unless you've got permission to. Then that's a different story. That out of the way, brute forcing. So basically what brute forcing is let's say you are, again, trying to get into a computer that your friend owns. You don't have access to it. They're 100 miles away, so you can't really get physical access to it, but they gave you permission to go ahead and try to hack into their computer. Well, brute forcing is basically you trying to guess the password to that computer. You're trying one password after another, and then if you get lucky, you'll actually gain access to that computer. But how do you actually get to that computer in the first place? Well, there are different ways of getting remote access, which, if you've been reading along already, the learning objectives today, we're going to learn about common remote access services, recognizing a listening VNC port in a port scan, use a tool to find the VNC server's password, and how to connect to the VNC server using a VNC client. Now, I've actually read through this already, and I believe most of this stuff, especially with port scans and everything, that correlates to what we learned yesterday as far as just scanning the computer. What ports are open? What services are being used on that computer? So there are actually 3 ways. There's probably more ways, but these 3 most common ways to gain remote access to another computer, be it a server or just, any computer. A server is basically a computer, right? There's 3 main ways. So 1, you got SSH, RDP, and VNC. So you probably don't really know what SSH is. For you Windows people that like or that are on the that use Microsoft Windows, you probably know what RDP is. That's Microsoft's remote desktop. I think more people probably know what VNC is as well. Let's go through these individually. So SSH stands for Secure Shell. You'll find this mostly used on Unix-like systems for remote login, so Unix and Linux type system. And SSH is mainly text-based, so you're going to be working in the command line to execute commands and everything. RDP stands for Remote Desktop Protocol. And like I said, this is something that Microsoft Windows uses, and it just allows the user to basically interact with the other computer as if they were sitting right in front of that computer. VNC is actually pretty much like RDP. It gives you a graphical user interface. You are able to take control of the remote desktop, the remote computer, just as if you were sitting right in front of it. VNC is more geared towards any other operating system. RDP is mainly for Windows. However, I do know that there is a Mac version of RDP. I've used it to access my Windows virtual machine. And I use VNC for a lot of other things, especially at work, just so I can access all of the other computers that we have access to, or, like all of our other end users. I'm a systems admin for a company, so I provide tech support for our employees, and it's really fun. We are a mostly or all Mac shop, so all we have are MacBook Pros. We might have just one PC somewhere, but that's how we use VNC to remotely access basically all of the fleet. Authentication, we know pretty much what authentication is, right? There's got to be like some way for a user to basically tell the computer, I am who I am, I do have access to you, please give me access. And that comes in the form of a username and a password. And this is something that we are trying to find out, right? Especially if we're trying to brute force our way into a machine. If there's some way to find out what the username is, that's like 50% of getting into the system in the first place. So if you're able to find out what the username is, you can use techniques that we actually talked about. What was it? I believe it was 2 days ago, about open source intelligence. You can try to, in this scenario, or in the scenario that I gave, as far as your friend giving you permission to try to hack into their computer, you can try usernames. Maybe they've already given you the username, so there you go. You're halfway there. Since we're still a new channel, I really don't know what the demographic is for the audience for my videos yet, but if you're on Facebook or any other social media, basically, and you come across one of those posts where they say, you're answering questions about yourself, right? And I'm guilty of doing this as well. So they ask you for what are your hobbies, or how many tattoos do you have, or personal questions like that. But one of the questions that comes up a lot on those surveys is, where were you born? And there was one day where it was like I come across, one of the, when you're trying to set up a password for anything and you've got security questions, and one of the security questions was, where were you born? What city were you born? And I started thinking, I'm like, well, if you search for me, I've probably answered that question somewhere. So, uh, moral of the story is don't try to give other people personal information that could be used to try to hack into any of your accounts, your bank account, your email, or, stuff like that. Anything that's personal that has private information usually has ways to try to verify who you are by answering security questions. And those surveys, the questions on those security questions are sometimes in the surveys. So just beware. All right, so we are going to answer some of these questions now. For the task, we are going to need to start the machine. Let's go ahead and do that. And I'll come back once this is done spinning up. All right, we are back. That took a little while, actually. Again. So, all right, here we go. So what we need to do is question number 1, use Hydra to find the VNC password of the target with IP address 10.10.235.205. What is the password? So Hydra is one of the tools that we are going to be using. Just like the documentation here says, Hydra supports many protocols including SSH, VNC, FTP, POP3, IMAP, SMTP, and all methods related to HTTP. So what we will do is we need to go ahead and launch the terminal. And the syntax here is going to be Hydra -L, and this is going to be the username. So if you know what the username is, then again, you're halfway there. In this case, we know the username. I believe it's going to be, is it going to be Alexander? Yeah, right here. So Alexander. So Hydra -L, Alexander is going to be the username. Alexander. And then we're going to go ahead and put in the IP address, 10.10.235.205. And the protocol. So we want to do VNC, correct? Yes, VNC. So we're going to go VNC here. And let's do a -V. I keep forgetting if it's a lowercase or an uppercase V for verbose. That way we can see what it's doing. Capital V. And I forgot. Where is it? That's right. It's actually the password list. So I need to put the password list in here. I was wondering why this didn't look right. So this actually already has the RockU password list in it. And it is located at /user share word lists rocku.txt. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Error, unknown service 10.10.235.205. Okay, so let's try this again. We just verify the IP address. It's this one. Okay, let's try this again. Hydra -L Alexander. Path to the word list. User. Keep forgetting where it's at. User. Share. Word lists. rocku.txt. Let's go ahead and put the password in there. No, can't do it right there. Can I do Control V? No. I think I did this before. 10.10.235.205. And it's going to be VNC. Let's do -V. Is that going to work? No, it's not. Warning, you should set the number of parallel tasks to 4 for VNC services. Error the Redis. Are only using the -P. Oh, okay. So let's go ahead and do it without the -V. No? Is it telnet module? Boy. Let's read this again. Please do not use that. You should set the number of parallel tasks to 4 for VNC services. Okay, well, let's Hydra. Set it to 4 for VNC services. So is it going to be -T? Or let's find out. -T4. Okay, so it's lowercase t. 4. And it still does it. Okay. Okay, so you can only use the -P. SNMP and VNC modules are only using a -P, lowercase p, or uppercase p option, not login or colon file. Okay. So I believe that means let's go ahead and try this without the -L. Sometimes you gotta just read the errors. Ah, look at that. Here we go. It's looking. So right now it's it's using the password list on that VNC server. And once we get that password, we'll come right back. All right, went ahead and started up a new attack box and a new server. We've got a different IP address this time. So let's see if this works now. So VNC 10.10.146.208. It's going to ask for the password. That's 1Q2W 3E4R. Aha, there we go. Okay, this is something. So the flag is in here somewhere. Ah, there it is. I see your screen. All right, let's go ahead and put that in here. So it's THM curly brace I_C_your_screen end curly brace. And there it is. Answer is correct. Sweet. And just like all of the other tasks, if you like the topics presented in this task, please check out these rooms next. And again, these rooms are basically just lessons to all of the different tools, it looks like. So actually protocols and servers, learn more about Hydra, learn more about password attacks, and John the Ripper. John the Ripper is another tool that a lot of people use for cybersecurity. But yeah, that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me struggle through all of this. But, you know, I'm hopeful that it will just get a little bit easier. Hope you guys liked the video. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe down below as well and hit that notification bell icon so you know when I upload new content. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.